Okay, guys, how you like my new hat? It's actually applicable for today because I got a question for you before we even start. How much do you really know about all these brands in the audiophile industry that charge immense amounts of money for their gear? I know you can look on the surface with the chassis, you can read subjective reviews, you can look at the price tag and maybe infer some things, but how much do you know about the behind the scenes, the facility, the people behind it? What you're going to see today is a company that I think, number one, you'll get a lot of comfort with them going forward, but also as a macro point could serve as a benchmark for you in terms of before you spend money with another brand, can it match up to this company in terms of how they run things? So stay tuned. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Yes, I'm wearing this hat today for a special reason. Actually, it's my newest creation. I'm already back ordered on these, but if you're interested in ordering one like this, let me know. I got links in the description for emails and a website even if you want to know. But I'm actually wearing it. Actually, I could be wearing it for black and gold. Saints are doing well. Houston Texans are doing well. Knock on wood. But the real reason I'm wearing this hat today is because I'm featuring a company that I featured before, Gold Note. And what better hat to wear when talking about Gold Note? I have featured them in two other videos. If you were watching when I took the tour of Italy, I released a video while I was out there because I was so excited about their reference XS87 model. I'll have a whole video on that. Check that out if you haven't. That's on my bucket list to hear. It was just on static display, but when you hear the technology behind that speaker, it's definitely on my list to eventually audition, maybe even own. But then I also had another video just recently where I had music clips from their facility as well as some new vinyl stuff they're working on as part of the Vinyl Alliance. But all of that was building up to this video today where I'm giving you a facility tour, and to me was the true highlight. Even though those were super impressive, what really blew me away about Gold Note is that I was a public accounting auditor for many years back in the 90s. That's how I got my start. And I'm a CPA. And I've gone out to the Fortune 500 companies. I've seen some of the most, well-to-do companies, best-run companies in the world, and have worked for some of them. I was super impressed with Gold Note in terms of they're doing things that I've never seen before at a small company, especially in this industry. Six Sigma level efficiency, all the different things you're going to see in this video are that next level of production and facility and attention to detail that I think gives you much more comfort, not just with them, but a benchmark that you can use for, hey, we're spending a lot of money on this gear. But other than the price and a fancy chassis and some subjective jargon in a magazine by somebody you don't even know, what it justifies paying the money? Well, here, this is going to give you a lot more comfort, at least it did for me, because when you see what they go through to develop these products, you can understand why Gold Note is one of the few that can create everything, soup to nuts, your entire system from cartridge to equipment rack to speakers, you name it, they can do everything. And they do it at all different price points, which is extremely difficult to do. And they've been in business for a long time. No company is perfect. No company is for everybody. Certainly the aesthetics may not be for you. But when you understand how this company operates, I think it's going to give you a new appreciation for them as a company and also a benchmark you might want to look for in other companies before you spend money. And as you know, I've been selectively doing facility tours of some of the best manufacturers out there. And there's a threshold for me to even go out there. It has to be products that I would be proud of owning. And certainly Gold Note fits that bill. Enjoy this. Oh, by the way, not paid for any of this. I don't represent anything with Gold Note. They didn't pay me to do the facility tour, anything like that. So just that FYI. But enjoy this tour, guys. All right, we're entering Gold Note in Tuscany. And this is one brand that does it all. Literally cables, racks, cartridges, turntables, amplifiers, speakers, you name it. It's one of the few. And oh wow, looks like we got ourselves a swimming pool in their facility. This is a first. All right, just a quick preview, guy. I'll have a lot more to come. Wow, look at this gold note speaker. Look at this thing. Beautiful. Super excited to do this tour of a company that literally does everything. CD players, headphone amplifiers, turntables, including the cartridges. And as you saw from my Munich coverage, they had the best gold leafing. I'm not even a gold guy, but these are the new ones that you saw in my video from Munich. But this was my new favorite. When it comes to anything gold, it's got the best aesthetic vibe for me. The curves combined with the gold. And then this stand is just sick. Not that guy. This is.
So if I can get all of your guys' attention for 1 minute, we have all 6 of the...
Oh, we're being summoned.
So, 9 espressi, samosa, milk, no milk, sugar, no sugar.
Sugar for me.
No sugar? No sugar. All of espresso. You guys are actually Italians, no? Alright, so if I got everyone's attention just for a minute. Okay. We are going to go from one place to the next, and I think I told you guys that there would be a contrast from each one of those. It's not on purpose, it just happens to be luck that the middle factory, or the second stop, technically third brand on the tour, is radically different than the first 2 that we saw, and it will be radically different from the last one. What you're going to see here is a completely different focus from what you saw at the first 2 brands and what you will see at the last 2 brands. This facility is very much focused on the manufacturing and production process. They're going to talk to you a lot about what they've done to implement that. They have systems, they have ways that they bring product and move it from the bottom floor where the parts are up to the top floor and where they start to build the products. You're going to see that the production facility is completely encased in glass, so everybody can see everything. You're also going to see workstations where one product is built at one workstation by one person. So it's very different than a long bench or a long production facility where the product kind of moves. This product starts at one spot and pretty much ends in one spot. So it's quite a bit different, and you're going to see that when you go out there. They'll be building some products out there now. The other thing that's, between Unison and Opera, there's quite a bit of product. One of the things that's different is that Goldnote makes literally everything, right? So from a phono cartridge to cables, a rack to put the product on, electronics, streaming, phono, speakers, the whole thing. You can stay, soup to nuts, you can stay in the Goldnote environment for your entire system. And obviously you're also going to see a little bit even further of a flair for the Italian style, as you see from the gold note, or the gold leaf on some of the gold note products.
The aesthetics are radically different.
Radically different, yeah.
Radically different.
Yep.
Radically.
It's very different from anything else in terms of, as far as audio manufacturing goes, right? Yeah. And the thing is that you've seen that someone said, I think it was you, Ken, saying it was kind of like an art gallery or a museum now. It's exactly what we try to do. We try to recreate an art gallery here, because Goldnote makes audio, but also sponsors. It's not like we built it ourselves. Rather, it was here when we purchased the building. Because the building used to be owned by a company that makes furniture for outdoors. So they had a classic display, some bands, Yes. And so we thought about what to do with the space, and then in the end, because you saw it today, it was a very democratic process. It was about like, what do we want to do? And the idea, for me particularly, I would have loved to turn this into an underground listening room. I mean, that would have been really cool. But because there's like 20 other employees that just wanted to have swimming during lunch break, then we ended up with a pool. So.
Well, the only thing you don't make is underwater speakers, pretty much.
Yeah. So you combine.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, you can do it again. Okay. All right. Wait, break it up because now it's got the.
I was so excited.
And boom, stolen from me. Usually what I do is I
They're easily impressed.
Open the room and everyone goes for the red button. No.
Who can touch it? Oh, wow. Oh, look how easily they are impressed.
Welcome to engineering.
Production. So yeah, production, and I'll give you a quick overview of what happens and how. So basically, the way it works is because we make both electronics and analog, and each type of category needs specific equipment for building, testing, and building in. The production is actually divided into two areas. So the lane that you see on your right, so my left, is for electronics. The other lane is for analog, which means tables, doorknobs, and loudspeakers. So that's the first thing we see here. Second thing that you see here is that we've got the station, which is for production management. So this is where the scheduling and managing of the production line happens in terms of the workload. And then third thing you see here, it's a dashboard that basically reports in real time what is happening on the workstations. So this is used to, so a lot of people see this and they go like, wow, you're like China now, you've really hit your workers and check their performance, but not really. So what happens is that because of the lean manufacturing system we've adopted, one of the key elements is that the continuous improvement in them, which means you need to know where you are, which means you need to track what you're doing, otherwise you can't improve on. So this is where it comes in. So you track what you're doing, and the idea is you track what you're doing, you analyze it, you ideate new ways to improve, implement, track again, and it keeps going in a big loop. So it's this wheel of continuous improvement. But if you don't know what you're doing, then you can't track it. So you look at this dashboard, and this is a very high level overview, but you can see that you've got all the different tabs where you can go in and analyze better what's going on. And basically this reports back on, like if someone has been on vacation, obviously they got nothing. And it reports back on the workstations, what is happening, the collective performance, the amount of units that have been produced, and the target that we're trying to reach. So we set the target for 85% in terms of efficiency. Now 85% is quite high. I think some of the best companies in the world reach 92, 93, 94%. The average will be around 70, 75. You can see this month we are at 84.3. And the performance is just the ratio between time spent.
Any decline in performance, blame on Tom today. That's not our fault. That just it's down today. That's Tom's fault.
Just dies there.
You can see my 3 seconds of brilliance.
Yeah.
That's the peak.
Okay. Oh, you okay. Then we went down.
Yeah, we were at Auto Grill here.
You have to set a new goal if you worked here.
Yeah.
04.
I'm at
You can
95.
see they're in production for PH5 because you've got a whole batch of PH5 being
Oh,
produced
cool.
here.
Yeah, that's the.
So
Oh
this
no.
is a production that's coming out right now of some PH5. So what's interesting, and you may not realize this, is that throughout the process, the brand or the distributor's name is also listed on there as well. So it kind of knows where it's going, right? So Tecno Futura SRL is an Italian distributor. So it's going there, basically. And as you can see, the burn-in is happening. And this is also the product I was talking about before. This is a $1,000 phono preamp that's
Going even through burn-in on $1,000
Yeah,
piece.
and this is just so basically they have been fully
Yeah.
finished,
So-
tested, and now they just
This is part of the
Randy,
QC
check this
too.
out.
Yeah.
This is the piece I was showing you that at $1,000 you've got a phono preamplifier that has all different types of curves. Well, you should probably have. Let's go back. But see how you went to the Duca and the London curve? Oops, Columbia. Let's just start at RIA. If you want to show just that.
yeah. So basically, being a touchscreen, the way it works is first you select the feature or function you want to adjust, say the equalization curve, then you confirm, and then you start going through the different options. So just wait 3 seconds, it enters, and then it confirms, and you can hear actually the relays clicking on the main board because it's fully analog. And it works the same way on everything. So you can select the different functions, confirm, change, and then it's applied, you get clicking.
To have this level of functionality in a product at $9.99 retail that's handmade in Tuscany is just bonkers, right? So if you're into analog, you have functionality that you've never had before at a price that's pretty much unobtainable from anyone else.
That's impressive for $1,000. Yeah, for sure.
Then the other thing that I would like to show you is how you can see the cards
Yeah, same
being
ones that
lined
you.
up.
Yeah.
So this is the one.
This is cool too, how he's building the chassis. So do you guys want to see how he's building the chassis? It's kind of cool. So remember you saw the blanks downstairs that had the panel on top of them? So they're actually assembling them, and there's like a frame inside that gets screwed together to the kind of cool.
No pressure. Back up a little bit. And don't turn it yet. Yep, there you go. And then go ahead and put it down. And then flop it up.
So you can see this is the scaled up version of what you find here. Now this speaker is actually quite interesting because they've got a woofer firing downwards.
Oh, really?
Steel chamber. And steel chamber down here, pretty much this height. So they look super slim and they look like a two-way design, but it's actually 2.5.
Interesting.
It's a woofer in here firing downwards. So
So they
get
put on
quite a-
spikes?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And the stand actually has a hole
For that, okay.
So 2 active mid bass, 1 tweeter, and then a
The whole thing's passive,
Completely
but
passive.
there is a woofer also inside that fires downward that you can't see.
Are these crossed over at the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a 2.5 way.
Okay.
And
Tom, is there any reason these ports are made of aluminum besides just aesthetics, or is it
it's a mix. So basically, one of the things that a lot of manufacturers don't want to do with their bus reflex designs is to use aluminum because of the
rain.
scared it's going to rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a function of the airflow. So that's controlled by the shape, the geometry. So whether you have a laminar or a chaotic flow, and the size. So the way these are tuned, there is no
there's no
resonation.
ringing involved?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the fact that it's aluminium, it means that we can craft each piece with CNC rather than
Then
injection molding.
Injection molding, right? This is the first time I think I've ever seen actual ports made out of aluminum before.
Yeah. It's just a lot more flexibility in the way that you can control the design and the amount that you can control the design compared to injection molding.
Yeah.
It's not something that we do a lot, injection molding. To be honest. We have our 3D printers here. We're not allowed to go in there because of safety reason, but the 3D printers are right there. These used to be the previous testing room. Now you can see that's been fully dismantled because all the stuff has been taken downstairs, and this is going to become the sort of like video. It's going to become the video lab.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
why you see that we've. So all the stuff that you find on stage was previously here. This was treated for measuring. Now you can see there was. But I'll take this out.
Oh, and here you got the crossover.
Yeah, I'll take this out actually.
Yeah.
You can see. So, Carlo, this is it. This is the big boy. The amount of humidity is within a certain range. Then once the wood gets there, it's less reactive, but it's still going to move. So what you do is you control the movement with two things. A, you can put a stronger material to contain it. So that's what we do with some tables. We have the stainless steel. That adds mass. Also, it changes the frequency of resonance of the whole assembly, and it changes the density of the three planes. So the vibration cannot move freely in between different planes. But also, it locks in place the wood. The crazy thing is that despite the fact that we use a 3mm stainless steel plate, the wood, if it wants to move, it still moves. That's how strong it is. And so the other way you control it is by, instead of having one big piece, you have slats, because then the amount of deformation is a function of the width, not the length. So in this side, it will move more in percentage compared to this side. So by having smaller slats, you control the expansion. That's why you see that there's a little gap, because depending on where it goes, if it goes to Thailand, it will enlarge a little bit. But you can calculate that amount. So you can calculate exactly how much gap you need to leave in between the chassis and the wood.
So this basically is like it looks like it's assembled like in two sections, right? It's like, so it's like modular then.
Yeah.
So what would go? I mean, would there be anything going in between here once this?
Yeah, there's a plate of stainless steel.
Plate of stainless. Okay, gotcha. Wow.
And then there's another plate of stainless steel underneath the base module, and then the stand.
There's just something about this. Just like it's like asking you to touch it. You know?
It's kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah, it's.
The other great thing about this speaker is that it's actually a quite decent volume, but when you look at it, and you can check it again in the meeting room, it doesn't look as big. And so when you play and you go really low, it just has this huge voice. But when you come in and you see it, you go like, oh no, that's not capable of doing that.
Yeah.
How heavy is it?
198 kgs,
Okay.
single.
So you're talking like about 180 pounds at least. Yeah.
Each.
No, 190, so you're 400.
What's that?
400.
Oh, 400. Oh, sorry, 100. Are you talking 98?
98 kilos. Yeah.
Around 200 pounds.
Yeah,
Roughly, yeah.
yeah. There's no way this is 400 pounds.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
400 pounds is the
Because
best.
it's like 2.2. Yeah.
Something like that.
So this is a thing that sometimes, you know, you get the odd sort of grumpy person who says, what's the point of spending like a certain amount of money on high-end stuff because it's like blah blah blah. You don't need to. And I get that. And there's an argument for that, but it's like when you come into a product like this, and it's just like the craftsmanship in it, and the design, and just the aesthetics. That's a whole part of the reason why something,
exactly.
costs like this.
Exactly. And to be honest, when you have something big in your house, you have to live with it over and over and over. And that's one thing that I really appreciate. And I know that Sonos Faber is Italian, but it's got a completely different approach.
Yeah.
So I think Sonos Faber tries to be the piece, the center of attention. You get into a room, you see the Cremonese, and you're like, beautiful, like it's this piece of art that's standing there. We have a different approach to this. You have to live with this every single day of your life. You can't get bored of it because it's such a I think this is going in this must be going in China.
And so, what is the weight that's at the bottom?
Yes, you see that.
It's not on here.
No,
but
it's
just
not there. But there will be
a weight,
counterweight.
a counterweight to
lowering the mass and
to bring the center of gravity down.
lower,
Okay,
yeah.
makes
So
sense.
less pendulum effect.
Yeah.
Because it's
Okay.
so tall.
This is right.
This
That's
is
just,
actually real gold.
Real
This
gold.
gold leaf. That's
This
like
gold leaf is made with real gold. So
Right, right,
basically,
right.
you get the gold powder, you make it into a leaf. This leaf is so thin that it's actually see-through. It's almost like rice paper.
right.
So basically, this is acrylic underneath. The acrylic has got a primer. Traditionally, in Renaissance Florence, you would use a red primer, and then you would put gold leaf on top. It gives it a rich tone. We use a yellow primer, and then you apply the gold leaf, and then there's a finish on top that is see-through, so you don't scratch it. And basically, the light, when it hits it, travels through the gold leaf, hits the primer. It's reflected back, travels through the gold leaf again, and then you see it. And that's why
Totally
it's such
beautiful,
it's
yeah.
such a rich
But this is
color.
like this is legit to say this is actually coated in 24 karat gold, basically.
Yeah, it's not 24 karat, but it is gold.
But gold leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
And that's why also this finish So you can get, this is the special finish. You will get it in black usually. So this is the special finish, like you see on the loudspeakers and on turntables, but the difference in price is a function of the surface you need to cover.
Right.
So the bigger the product, the more the difference between the standard finish and the gold leaf. So in this case, you go from 48,000 to 55,000. So 55,000 is the gold leaf, 48 is the black.
Okay.
Speakers do a similar thing. They go to 50,000 in the gold leaf. The Mediterranean X you can get in walnut, that's 10,900 or 12,000 if it's in gold leaf.
So question then. So this is acrylic. You're saying underneath. So
And stainless steel.
And stainless steel. Okay. Would someone be able to order this, say, in that type of walnut finish?
No. Just black and gold.
Just black and gold. All right.
And this is aluminium. So it's aluminium, stainless steel, and acrylic.
Just imagine it, like each one of those shells being that walnut.
And so the total price with this and the tone arm and cartridge and everything,
It will be, depending on the cartridge and the toner, but it will be around
Going for the full reference.
65,000. If you were to use our reference,
Yeah.
you'll have 55 plus 2,000 plus 7,000. So 65,000.
okay, for your, the full reference gold note.
They can even do a longer tone arm.
Yeah.
They have different mount capabilities
Yeah, you
with
can,
it as well.
you can accommodate a 12-inch or a 9-inch.
Okay, both
It's kind
sides.
of cool because a lot of the new stuff doesn't do 12-inch tone arm.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
We used to make a 12-inch toner back in the days. Now all our standard production is 9-inch.
9-inch.
So this is where basically
Okay, we're in the R&D area.
Engineers. So the whole space is, the way it works is very different from the rest of the company. So we have these two stations. These are for mechanical design and product design. That's Marco, that's our designer today.
Ciao, Marco.
You see there. There's some testing gear and whatnot. So this is for the mechanical design. That's why you see that we've got some parts that are in for I don't know what. So, these are actually for development. That's a big guy, isn't it?
Yeah, what is it?
Okay, so this is a new integrated amp we're working on.
So there's something that can they take a picture or no?
Yes, yeah, it's still in the making. So this is, the idea was to get to 1,000 watts.
Jesus.
Mamma mia.
I want to kiss you.
My nipples are red. No,
Can we quote you on that? No,
no, please don't.
Madonna Santa, would you look at that thing?
I don't know if my wife would be happy with this interview.
So 1,000 watt stereo,
You know she would. You know why?
mono,
Proof
okay.
that you still have attraction of others, so that they want you more.
True, that's
how it works.
It's kind of like that. You build up the FOMO.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can see where this comes from again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they made just one for us.
So that's not like a regular stock transformer, that's a custom made job.
Yeah. That's
Same.
amazing. What they can do, they can really build something up to specs for you. And usually 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's
Same thing for the
Amazing.
cap.
You want to see
Yes.
something even more extraordinary than that?
Yep.
Look at the handwriting.
That's me actually.
That's you? Yeah. It's like it's printed on
Love it.
there. Very good.
This is actually when, because I used to work with product and product management before sales and marketing. So this used to be my area. But you can see that basically the way it's built is to work on several projects at any one time.
All right, but wait. Nope. You're not getting off that easy. Uh-oh. We're not gonna leave that thing that fast. So 1,000-watt integrated amplifier.
Yeah, classic integrated, so no streaming, no there, just pure amplification,
I love it. And like
just pure horsepower.
this year or next year?
Don't make me do this, Steve.
Come on, that's why I knew. I saw you turning around and walking away because I was like,
What were you saying, Tom? You were asking a question? No,
you don't know yet.
I think by the Q4 we're going to have a more precise.
Okay.
Wait, you said integrated amp?
It's an integrated, but it's 1,000 watts.
But you said mono.
Yes.
So you're going to have 2 volume controls on each one.
Possibly.
Synced.
I mean, there is still very much.
Okay.
Does it have like a touch screen on it or something?
So probably what they would do is
Could be.
what you
Could
saw.
be.
I don't want to say it down near me,
Yeah.
but just like the IS-10 and the IS.
They would,
So you buy the one and
Right.
it's stereo,
and then one becomes a master volume.
the other one.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Well, actually, integrated makes total sense. I mean,
990.
Yeah, $1,000, and then they were gonna go with,
You can see here some of the iterations.
through the process of it, some of the stuff that was out.
So basically, this is how we started, and then we were working on several. And you see now we've been working with fabric and experimenting with fabric for a couple of years. So one of the iterations was this one, that was shown actually in Munich last year.
so you're using that same tension dampening kind of thing?
No, this was completely different,
Okay.
and we actually ended up going with the classic standard finish. But we had to go through several iterations
Just
because
cool to see the way it goes.
primarily the different type of material. You can see it
Interesting.
sounds different.
Yeah.
So glass is not made equal. So glass can really change, and the way it changes, then it really affects the performance. And so we ended up going to what's called ultra clear glass, and because it can be made in different ways. So some type of glass is made by the fluid material is put into tubs, and then that affects the width and the thickness of it. And we're talking about nothing, like we're talking about I don't know what that would be in inches, but it's a 10th part of a millimeter,
Oh, it's ridiculous.
which is
yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
but it still has an effect on one flatten and rumble.
So why not acrylic? Why glass?
Very good question. We did start with acrylic. We might still have some around actually. But the acrylic, which is here, the acrylic is less dense. So glass is 2.25 times heavier than acrylic. So
Okay.
you build up a lot more momentum, and then it just stays spinning forever.
Gotcha.
It's supposed to be like a tempered type of glass, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And this is actually an inverted bearing design, which is very different from all the other stuff that we've been doing, because we usually use a ball bearing design.
Right.
This being inverted bearing because the turntable is so low, really changed everything, and that's why we wanted a higher mass.
Gotcha.
compared
Okay.
to the other designs.
Okay.
You can see some of the.
Yeah, one decision affects other decisions.
And then, as we found out, it is really hard to get glass that's perfectly circular and that it is centered, because it's a whole nightmare to process this. But again, due to some local suppliers, we were able to get this to just up to spec.
X or the Mediterranean. Was this Mediterranean or Mediterranean X?
That's the Mediterranean X.
Mediterranean.
And you can tell because
Mediterranean
unlike the
X.
Mediterranean, it doesn't have.
Right. The bearing
the
wells,
housing.
Yeah, in the center. So you can see how they've gone from this
That was the
to-
second. You can see that that's prototype
V2.
version 2.
to a completed product. And obviously there's no mistaking this is not veneer, right? Because you can
Yeah.
see it's solid walnut, and you can see the joinery and stuff between the different slabs of the wood. It's pretty killer the way they do that.
So that's walnut, you said, right?
yeah, this is
Italian
walnut.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's Italian walnut that comes from different areas, including Sardinia.
What's interesting is, we have had a few customers call and say, oh, I saw one on display and I got one. Oh, it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit darker.
Yep.
And it's like, well, yeah. It's
a natural product.
It's never going to be exactly the same. No two are perfectly alike, which is cool, right? Something to celebrate.
Every single.
Spear so you can
Yeah, this is
have wild blowing.
exactly. So this is super interesting. It's really cool. This is crazy enough, but some partners have actually asked us, "Can you send this? Can you send this with your next shipment?" Like it's not like you go to this market and you buy one. And you're like, "Oh yeah, I would like to order one of those." It's just crazy. But yeah, this is actually what you see on our logo, and I love the story behind this because it's very. I think in some ways it captures our spirit, and lots of people you find a lot of information. So the name for this instrument is buccina. So it's Buccina, and the player will be called buccinator. from Latin, meaning that it's using the buccino. And you'll see that it's got a Latin name, so everyone thinks this is a Roman battle horn. Actually predates the Roman Empire. So here in Tuscany there's a very mysterious heritage in terms of culture. Before the Romans, there was a local people called Etrusci, and they found a lot of similarities in between the Etrusci civilization and the Indian civilization. So it looks like there might be a direct connection. And they were just flourishing as a civilization in the Tuscan area. They had 13 different cities that were really advancing technology and culture, and they came up with this design. Then the Romans obviously came over, took hold of all of Europe, and they made it into their battle horn, which is obviously like it's really handy because it's designed so that you can march with it. What I love about it is that first, it makes for a great logo, but then most importantly, you're using sound to coordinate a large number of people as they go into war. And so I think that's particularly captivating as a concept because we make audio and our mission is to coordinate teams across the company. So I love that it embodies all this meaning for us, and it's very Italian at the same time. So it's really, really cool. And obviously you have the added bonus of stabbing the occasional enemy. Because why not? I mean.